Well, ladies and gentlemen, the dust has finally settled, but the madness has just begun. The Prairie A&M University Panthers finished the season strong with a 12-6 record. They technically become the number 2 seed behind University of Arkansas Pine Bluff by 1 point. I have on the line with me none other than Coach Byron Smith. First of all, Coach, congratulations and welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate you having me.
All right. Doesn't get any closer than that. Technically, it was a three-way tie. Pine Bluff, and Texas Southern end up 12-6. So explain all this madness, how everything landed where it is, and where we go from now.
I wish I could explain it. Like you said, it is madness. We were obviously going into that game hoping maybe to get a share of the conference championship. We needed to take care of our business, but by the grace of God, we were able to do that in beating Southern. But we needed a little bit of help from our neighbors, in the league. But you come to know as a coach that you have to take care of your own business, and when you look to get help, from other people when you want them to do well, they don't. But anyway, we're pleased with where we are. It's been a long year. It's been a trying year. Just working with new guys and trying to get them to buy in and things like that. And it took a little longer than we would have hoped, but it did finally happen. So proud of the bunch. They're playing really well right now, playing hard, and learning how to win games in different ways, which I think helps you become a complete basketball team. Pleased with where we are right now.
When you talk about the help needed Mississippi Valley to come victorious over Pine Bluff because of the game that we lost to Valley at Valley. Comes back to bite you a little bit, slightly disappointed, but you learn from those mistakes. Overall, you've got to be pleased with the way this season has unfolded from where you started to where you are right now.
No doubt. Mike, when I was given this blessing, this opportunity by God first, by way of Dr. George Wright, our former president, and our current athletic director, Ashley Robinson, these are some of the things, where we are right now, some of the things that we talked about that we would hope that we would be in this position. And, I think, sometimes, fans and some alums, they have you kind of on the accelerated pace. They want it like right now. So I kind of put myself on that pace too, and wanting to win championships immediately. That's kind of what we're about, and I think we're long overdue, and we're close, but not in the position that we want to be in yet. No cigar. So we're gonna keep pushing and keep fighting, and try to go as far as we can go with this season. There's still a championship out there for us to attain, and being a conference tournament championship, which we have our eyes set on that. So we've got a lot of work to still do, a lot of basketball still left, but we are pleased with where we are. We've won 2 more games this year than we did last year. We're 10-8 last year in conference, 12-6 this year. So I think you see progress. But we want to be, every year up around 13, 14, 15 wins if we can. That's not going to be easy, but you set your goals high, and you work as hard as you possibly can to achieve them. So we're in a good place right now. But we're definitely not satisfied.
Well, we're speaking right now with Coach Byron Smith of the Prairie A&M University Panthers. Have the best record since 2003, Coach. 12-6 in the regular season, enough for the number 2 seed. Technically, on paper, due to the fact of an outstanding year by first-year coach Jackson from Grambling State, they were ineligible because of APR regulations. They, as well as Alabama A&M. So it moved University of Pine Bluff one step above, and then, of course, everybody moved up a notch. Now, with everything being positioned, your first home playoff game will be against that of Alcorn. Last season, you opened up against Grambling State, and was not the outcome that we were all anticipating. How do you use last year's experience for this year's preparation?
Just to talk about it, and just let them know this is a new season. Our regular season, our regular conference season, was somewhat successful. It could have been better, but I think no one is, throwing rocks at 12-6 anywhere in the country, at any conference, at any level. But smart people will understand that that's over and done with. There's nothing we can do about that. That's congratulations, move forward. We got bigger fish to fry. So I think that would be a colossal mistake. If we overlook our next opponent, or if we stay locked in the regular season conference mode of, hey, we were pretty good. Won 10 out of our last 12 games. Which I think has to be probably one of the best, percentages probably in the country anywhere, Mike. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know many coaches that would want to have that type of a record. But, again, that's over and done with. We have to move forward and really get focused on a hungry Alcorn team. Very, very difficult to beat a team 3 times in one season. So we're going to talk about all of this when we convene for practice. And, we've got a short time to prepare. But it's going to be more about mental preparation, understanding the moment, and seizing the moment. And, not saying, hey, man, we woulda, coulda, shoulda. It's here now, and we have to move forward, and we have to approach this thing, with the utmost urgency and focus. And we're going to do that. I can assure you it won't be any letdowns.
Once again, speaking with basketball coach Byron Smith, you made a reference to how alumni have the foot on the accelerator and they want championships and they want it now. And, everybody plays to win the game. But let me add this to it, Coach. You're doing this the right way. You're going through the slow, methodical process of building a program, not just putting a team together, but building a program which is involving changing the culture, changing the approach in how things are being done, out with the old, in with the new, if you would. This is on the course of heading where you vision this big picture thing, but a lot of people have to understand it is a process. It's not overnight, although I know you feel the pressures. Every win amounts to potentially an additional contract extension as things unfold, especially when you start winning these larger games, right? So no pressure on you at all, Coach. But how is it when you can, it's got to be a good feeling when you can look yourself in the mirror and know that you're doing this the right way. It's a slow way, it's an ugly way, but it's the right way.
I agree, Mike. I think if you're on time, speed kills. I think there's a slogan out there: speed kills, and you don't want to be going fast all the time. It's like life. Sometimes you play fast. Sometimes you have to go intermediate speed. Sometimes you have to slow it down. It all depends on what the type of group that you have and the type of talent that you have. But I think it's key and important. When you talked about the one key word I like to point to is culture. And although I think Coach Rim did an outstanding job at the time that he was here, I think we needed to tweak some things a little bit. So, it just depends on, what set of lenses you look out of. You got some administrations and fans and alumni across the country. They look at the overall picture. They look at, academic stuff. They look at, service, around in the community, image, things of that nature. As well as playing, are they good people on campus? Do people like the basketball team on campus? Are they positive? Are they negative? And all those things equal out to culture. And that's what I'm about, and we needed to tweak the culture some. And I think we've done that to get a 2.9 GPA this fall semester right at a 3.0. I think that's the first time in a long time that, our academics were up that high. And we're pretty proud of that. And we want to go even higher. We're not in the news all the time for off the court issues and things like that with kids getting in trouble, so forth and so on. But kids are going to be kids. Every institution, they're going to have their share of problems. But I think we have a good group of kids that you're not locking your doors at night because of the Prairie and men's basketball team. So we feel really good about that. And I do think the product on the court has improved. I think it's a different style of play. I think it's more exciting than it's been in a long time. And I think that every night that, you feel good about spending your $6 or $8 or whatever you're paying to come in because these kids are going to play hard, they're going to play the right way, and they're going to make you proud that you did come out and watch them. So all those things to me might add to what you look at, culture, the word that you use. So I think the culture has changed, and I would hope that real basketball people would understand that we are building a culture that's going to be rock solid, not only for now, but for years to come. Long after Byron Smith has left Prairie View, that'll still be in place. The PV way, and that's what you want. So I know you understand it, you get it because you're a basketball lifer and you're just a real smart guy on top of that. But I hope that everyone will understand this is about a culture. And then once you get your culture established, the wins will come.
The check is in the mail, sir. You should get it real soon. I appreciate that very. We're talking right now with Coach Byron Smith of the Prairie View A&M University Panthers. You did a overhaul, if you would, with the team this year. Some key players still in place, but the likes of a DJ Dennis Jones, my favorite big guy in the nation. I don't care where he is, but J.D. Wallace, 12 rebounds on the last game of the season. Not a lot of points, but grabbing rebounds, giving second chance opportunities for those perimeter shooters. This team is gelling at the right time, Coach. We're not trying to put any gel or hocus pocus jinx on you. I don't believe in all that. I just believe in being consistent and with hard work. But when you talk about this team, what does a DJ bring on the floor that's been that added ump for your basketball squad this season?
Dennis Jones, again, I'll go back to his situation as a kid that was brought in last year to be our starting point guard. And I think I was talking to you about it and some other people that Jadante Blakely, who was our point guard last year, who I thought did a fabulous job. I thought he was a very underrated player, and I thought he helped our program immensely. If you could have had Dennis Jones and Jadante Blakely being your backup point guard, this thing could have ended a lot differently last year than it did. But Dennis was a little bit behind academically. He had to sit out a year and get his residency. And so he's really just kind of getting back into the swing of things. And I think it was a big adjustment for him early on because sometimes, you're working off the rust when you sit out a year. So I think he was, trying to get back acclimated to playing, full-time basketball. Guy and player. So I think it took him a little while longer. Dennis is just so talented. Dennis is a guy that has not had a lot of basketball structure. He just likes to play. Dennis doesn't want to do a lot of the things that's needed to be a successful Division I player. The drills and stuff like that. Dennis, he'd be the first one to tell you he's not a big fan of that. But when the ball goes up, he's a gamer. He's right there. He's fearless. He's very explosive. If he works on his jump shot in the off season, I think he can be a next level guy. I mean, he just has that type of physical gifts that a lot of young players don't have. He's a small guy, but he's so fearless. Like, he don't care the size of who he's going up against. He's going to go right at your chest, and you feel good at night knowing that you have him on your team. You rather be playing, having playing with you as opposed to playing against you. So we feel good about it, and I think he's learning to change speeds because if you let Dennis just go play, he'll be going 100 miles an hour on every play. He's kind of like got a little bit of that Westbrook in him, and but as a point guard, you have to understand pace. You know that, Mike. And like I say, sometimes you play fast, sometimes you play slow. Intermediate, and sometimes you have to slow it down and be able to execute in the half court. So I think he is getting there. I think he's really improving. He's had some monster games for us here in conference, and he's really helped us kind of get over the hump. So we're going to need him to be the same way going into this conference tournament for him to play big. And if he can do that, I think our chances will be very good to get past Alcorn on Tuesday night and then get down to Delmar, which is what everybody wants to see anyway, right?
Yes, sir. That's what everybody's waiting on, and not trying to count the chickens before they hatch. If the Panthers take care of business against Alcorn, it will be a difficult task to beat the same team 3 times in one season. But, we're going to put the faith in the coaching staff and the guys to execute what needs to be executed. If the stars line up right, Friday night at 8:30, the Delmar Center will be the trilogy, if you would, according to Texas Southern takes care of business against Alabama State. So we're not getting ahead of things right now. We know that you've had success, and you don't want the guys coming in overconfident, looking past Alcorn, and having this bite them in the backside. And with that being said, Coach, I want to thank you for taking the time out to make yourself available. I know you got a lot of crunching and X's and O's to do to get things, got people pulling at you from every which way. And I just appreciate it dearly that you take time here with us here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. And as always, sir, we're going to extend the final words to you, and the floor is now yours.
Well, Mike, I once again, indebted to you greatly for taking the time out to want to speak to me, and caring enough about our program and checking in on us, and text messages all the time, like good job or hang in there. It means a lot. It means a lot. Loyalty is, it's kind of few and far between nowadays. So I appreciate you. I appreciate the support. The building is a lot more packed now than when I first took over the Baby Dome. You're starting to see people all the time, same faces that are kind of coming out. Dr. Ruth Simmons, our president, has been to 2 or 3 basketball games. I didn't know that, she could move as well as she could move. She's there dancing and having a good time. And just the regulars who always come, they're there and they got smiles on their faces. So we feel good about that. But I guess, Mike, I'll probably put a question, to you, if you don't mind. It's easy for me to say where I think we are and what I think my impact is at Prairie View. But you've been around for a long time, and I'd like to know, not just from you, but just from just PV Nation, that where do they think this program is, and how do they feel about the men's basketball program here in 2017, 18? Because we can say what we want to say, but I think it's important for you guys to assess where you guys think we are. If you don't mind me asking you that.
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. And I can honestly tell you, being a supporter of PV Nation for through the lean years and appreciating now with some better years, it is always a proud moment to see the purple and gold thriving on and off the playing surfaces. I won't just put it at the court, but whether it's baseball, football, track and field, whatever it is. And as an alumnus, I'm very proud of how you have taken this program and where you put it and where you're leading it to. I've shared many conversations with you on and off the record on where I've been, and sometimes people hold me, I guess, to a fault that I'm just a straight shooter. I don't buy the pie in the sky. It is what it is, and it does what it does. Therefore, it shall be what it shall be. And when I can honestly say that this Byron Smith-led program is becoming just that, a program. Historically, you put some teams together. When you put a team together, you will have a couple of years here and there. But when you put a program together, you will have the consistency of if a person goes out, whether it's through graduation or injury or transfer, the system is intact enough that the next man up mentality can plug in and fit. That's why it's key. You can get a guy that can jump out the gym, but he doesn't fit your program or your system, then it's all for naught. So I would have to say on a scale of 1 to 10, and being very conscious of what needs to be and where it's going and how it's going, I'm going to give you a solid 8. And I give you an 8 because you don't have 2 J.D. Wallaces on the floor at the same time. There you go. That's why I give you an 8. But no, overall, I believe PV Nation is well pleased. I'm well pleased as a show host, as an alumnus, as a fan. And like I said, I've been accused of being harsh at times, but I also give praises. I give plenty of praises and I give plenty of props, but you got to be able to take the good with the bad. So I hope I answered your question with that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well,
Absolutely.
PV Nation, you can come out for one more final home game between Prairie View and Alcorn Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. That will be March the 6th at 8:30 p.m. The winner will advance to Delmar Center on Friday night at 8:30 to take on the winner between Alabama State and Texas Southern. He is Coach Byron Smith. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. As always, you guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.